Welcome, gamers, to this week's episode of Last Call Gaming. We're on episode 198. Today is July 12th. My name is Craig Perales. Joining me back behind the desk is Mandrew Montemayor. So, guys, we wanted to start off by obviously doing a big apology. I was looking at our date for the last episode we did, and it was June 10th. So
I was just trying to look at that.
It's been a full month, and apologies. There have been a lot of things happening here. A couple times it's been dates just didn't line up. I was going through quite a bit of personal things that kind of kept me away from being able to do the show on a weekly basis like we were trying to. But we didn't expect it to ever get this far, and I feel like a dork because I don't know if you saw on Instagram. I posted a thing with me and you on last call saying like, "Oh, don't worry, the boys are back," and it was for last week. And then last week when we tried to get it going, my laptop completely it didn't crash or anything. It's over 10 years old at this point.
It's had problems for a while.
Yeah, it just can't do what we've been wanting to do. So with the help of Geno and Andrew, we all kind of looked at a new laptop. So we got this. Andrew was over yesterday. We were kind of looking at it. Hopefully,
executive producer Geno. That's what he said yesterday.
EP Geno, executive producer Geno, and it just we're firing it up today. Hopefully everything goes according to plan. I mean, we set it up yesterday and we're testing it today. So apologies for the month-long delay, but just to start it off, I mean, I was talking to you yesterday about it. I haven't seen you since we missed Father's Day, we missed 4th of July, we've missed quite a few things. So just so anyone knows at home, I mean, what have you been doing, man? I mean, how have you been? How's work? How's life? How are things going?
You know, I didn't mention it in the thing because it was kind of a big one. Actually, this last weekend, and why we didn't do it the past weekend, not only was the computer not working right, I went to go see Blink 182.
Yeah, you were out of town. Yeah, you had a blast
on their One More Time tour. But as far as anything else, we just jumped straight.
I just want to let people know what you've been up to. So, guys, thank you. And if you've been waiting for us, we're finally back, and hopefully moving forward, there aren't going to be any more hiccups. So, guys, if you are watching this YouTube version of the show, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell. If you guys are interested in following us on any of our social media, our Linktree link is in the description. If you guys want to listen to the audio-only version of this podcast, find it on your podcast platform of choice. So, rolling back into the groove, before we dive into our main story, Andrew and I like to do, what are you up to? We take a second and talk about what we've been playing, what we've been watching. So, Mandrew, what have you been up to, my friend?
I'm doing a little back and forth because it's been a little while, so I don't remember. But
it's been a while.
But I had gotten Paper Mario 1,000 Year Door. I know I was super hyped for that, and I ran through it, cruised through it, beat it. And after that, I felt like I kind of hit like a gaming slump that I almost didn't want to do anything except for I still play Call of Duty like daily all the time. So I feel like I was watching more things. So two of the bigger things that I did jump into, and it's been a while since I watched like current movies, usually I'm pretty late, is I did go see A Quiet Place Day 1, the prequel. Now, I haven't seen the other two, and I kind of wasn't really interested in them. I'm like, they maybe seem all right. The main reason I went to see this one, and again, Christina wanted to go see it because she loved the other two, and more why I was interested in it is whenever I like going and seeing the horror movies that are like zombies, plagues, monsters, whatever, is I like seeing the downfall of society. I always find that part usually far more interesting than 10 years on when everything's just, people versus people and kind of whatever.
Dystopia.
But it was a really, really good movie, especially too, because if you're not familiar with them, the whole premise is there's these monsters, they're from, wherever out of space or something. But their whole thing is that they can't see. They go based solely off of sound. And so this movie takes place in New York, which it says on there is New York's sound decibel. I forget what it is, but they said is at 24/7 it is this, which is the equivalent to a constant loud scream. And I was like, man, that's crazy. So it was really cool to see everybody kind of come in, and then people learning like, okay, like we shouldn't move in large groups, but there's still people just trying to get through New York, and New York's noisy as hell, like constantly. So it was a super amazing spot to film. I thought it was like the perfect premise. Nice. Really, really good.
I've been wanting to watch it, and I think we might go see it in theaters. Where'd you go, Avi or Riverside?
Riverside. Why go anywhere else?
Of course. So, do you plan on watching the other two? Because the John Krasinski, I think, does. I mean, yes. And Emily Blunt. The first one's amazing, and I was on the same boat as you. It's like I don't really want to see him. Okay, how much action, how much story can be told in a movie we can't talk?
Yeah,
dude, there's plenty. Number 2 isn't as good, but it's still solid. So I would highly say you started at the best point. you got the prequel, and then you go to the next one, and you go to the next one. So
I'll definitely say
keep going. Yeah,
I'll watch the other two, but Christina haven't seen the other two. I think she liked this one the best.
Oh, good.
I really loved it to the end. Like when we were both watching it, we were both like teary eyed at the end.
Oh god damn it! See, that's
like,
what I'm always nervous about because I cry easy.
It was that good, man.
Okay, cool.
I really enjoyed it for what it was. And then switching gears into something more actiony, I think it was like 2 days ago. I watched Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. So this is the prequel to Fury Road, Mad Max with Tom Hardy, and it was really, really good. I really liked it a lot, dude. Chris Hemsworth, like just watching it for him alone, is an amazing villain. And I remember seeing lots of people at the time after they'd seen it saying like, this movie's good, and it puts a stamp or proves the point of you can make these Mad Max movies now, but Mad Max doesn't have to be present for it to be good.
Yeah.
And after watching it, I'm like, before I kind of didn't get it, I'm like, well, then what's the point? But after watching this, I'm like, no, I totally get it, and I would love to see more within these worlds. And I was even thinking, too, when it started, because it kind of shows familiar people from the first one. I'm like, well, what really more can you tell that's going to be interesting? Because I know these people are either A, going to be there or not going to be there now, but just what they do with his character as a whole, absolutely loved it, and it was so good. So I'd recommend going out there and watching that too.
Perfect.
And then as far as playing anything, jumping back in, my brother came down, so I put it off for a little bit because he was staying with me. But I am going to be playing the Elden Ring DLC. I was thinking about just going through and just streamlining it, but now I think I'm just going to stream it. I'm not sure what times I'm going to be doing it, so it'll be random. So if you see that notification, or hit that notification for us to get those live notices.
Nice, perfect. So as far as what I've been up to, man, I've been watching and on and off playing a bunch of stuff. But as far as watching goes, I finally watched Glass. Now,
amazing movie.
Yeah, it was fantastic, and it's the third movie. So you can find Glass. It came out on January 18th of 2019. It's on Netflix. It's the third movie in M. Night's, if what you might call, I guess, his superhero trilogy. The original one would be Unbreakable, which is the Bruce Willis, Samuel L. Jackson movie in 2000. It's weird because Unbreakable was on HBO. Split, which is the second movie with James McAvoy, 2016, is on Hulu and Disney. And then Glass was on Netflix. So what we did is we were watching them, and we watched them one night, and then we watched the next one the next night, and the third one the third night. And it's fantastic. And for some odd reason, I always remember hearing, because watching Unbreakable again, I haven't seen it in a long time. It still holds up. It was a great movie. Watching Split again, you forget how captivating James McAvoy is.
Still every scene that he's in.
Every scene, dude. And I'm like, dude, this guy might be inching up his way on my favorite actors. But
I was gonna say, it's crazy. So when you see someone as like interesting as what his character goes through, the first impression is usually always the strongest. You know, like The Dark Knight, the first time you see the Joker when he takes off whatever, that's the imprint in your head. That I think it's a stronger imprint in the second movie than he is in the first, or the third one than he is in that second one.
So yeah, when we finally watched Glass, I remember hearing that it didn't do as well, and I'm looking it up, and it was a 6.6 on IMDb, a 37% on Rotten Tomatoes, a 43% on Metacritic, and it is the culmination of Unbreakable, Split, and Glass all put together, all the characters, and I'd argue that it's the best one. I mean, Unbreakable was great. Split was better. Glass, for me, the way the story was told and how all of them come together, I was like, it's amazing, and I could kind of see, I guess, maybe, and I won't spoil anything, because, I mean, it's an older movie, but I just watched it, so I'm not going to spoil anything, but I can see how the ending might disappoint some people. I love the ending. But, once you understand the plot and what was happening and everything that was going on with Elijah and everybody, it's like, dude, that was the goal of how that movie was supposed to end. And with that being said, it is kind of cool because when they're all caught, and you can watch the trailers, so that wouldn't be a spoiler, that they're all kind of in a psychiatric ward, it's kind of showing that this Dr. Ellie, played by Sarah Paulson, is this person trying to convince them that they're all a little bit delusional, which is, kind of affects all their personalities a tad, but
modern gaslighting, before that was the biggest term in the world.
Yeah. And I would think, because I don't think M. Night will ever come back to do a fourth movie, because I was looking it up. It's one of the only, I don't think it's the only, I think it's less than 5 movies that are in this weird world between, because it's distributed by Universal and Walt Disney, which every movie studio is in competition with itself, but like Universal and Disney have like a real animosity between each other, so it's one of the few movies that they were actually able to both put out. And so I don't see a fourth one ever coming out, but I thought it would be kind of cool if at some point maybe like a Hulu original, because I want to continue this story. I thought it was great, like if they did a show. because the way the movie ends, if they did a show based on how that ending worked, I thought that'd be awesome. So
yeah, that'd be cool.
I thought that'd be cool. So if you haven't seen them, that's where you guys can find them. You can find them on Max, Disney, and Netflix, and I highly recommend to go do so. As far as what I've been playing over the last month, a lot actually. I've been doing a lot of indies because I've been looking for just smaller games on the Game Pass. I've been doing a lot of that. On the PS5, I knocked out Little Big Planet 3, Sackboy's Big Adventure. I just beat Bayonetta on Xbox. But the game I wanted to get into was a game called Tales of Kenzara Zao, which is a 2024 Metroidvania video game developed by Surgent Studios and published by EA under its EA original label. The story is about a young shaman named Zao who must capture the spirits of 3 monsters as offerings to Kalunga, the god of death, who promises to revive his father. Zao is very athletic, being able to double jump, wall jump, and double dash through air. Zao is equipped with 2 weapons, the Sun Mask and the Moon Mask. The Sun Mask allows Zao to deal melee damage up close, while the Moon Mask enables him to damage enemies from afar. Both masks have their own distinct upgrade paths. As players defeat enemies, they will collect Ulagi, a form of soul energy that can be used to purchase new skills for Zao. And I gotta say, it's a lot of fun. If you're looking to play it, it was free. I've been on the PS5 a lot lately. It was free on the PS5. I think it's under $40 if you want to play it on the Xbox. It's a lot of fun, but more importantly, it's beautiful. If you guys are watching on YouTube, you're probably seeing the trailer right now. It's a 2.5D Metroidvania type game. Great story about the son and his father that he's missing. I got a lot of like Black Panther type vibes because it is this African tribe. It's this son who's filling his father's shoes. He's getting, he's embodying the power of the shaman, and it's got a lot of cool powers. A lot of people were saying it's kind of a watered down Metroidvania, and I guess maybe it is. If you're going to compare it to something that just came out like the new Prince of Persia, I suppose maybe it is. But one of the biggest things people were complaining about is like when you go to a map, the map was completely revealed, right? You don't have to, it's not like Symphony of the Night where you got to go unlock black boxes, which to me, I mean, I'm not a Metroidvania purist by any means. I like playing them, but like that didn't bother me. I was like, oh, cool. As long as the action and gameplay is fun. It's got a couple different biomes as you go fight these different gods that you have to kill. So that was a lot of fun. It had a decent amount of enemies, and even when you got stronger and enemies started kind of repeating themselves, they started having different colors. So like the sun would be orange, the moon would be blue, so they'd start having like armor coats. So you'd have to use the right... I kept thinking the whole time when I was writing my notes, I was like, it reminded me of Grandma's Boy when he's like, we don't have time to make new enemies. Well, you wouldn't have to if you rendered them different colors. So I kept thinking of that. The boss fights were fun, albeit very annoying, because a lot of them at the end were kind of run challenges to where, like, you'll be running and like there'll be a wall and you have to use the orange mask to break it, and then later on you'll see something blue. So you're switching back and forth between these masks to do it. And then you get flight abilities. You get a lot of different things you got to remember how to do, because if you die, you got to start it all over again. There were some points where I was like, man, I am so beyond frustrated. But it's not that long of a game, 7 to 10 hours. I beat it in about 8.5 in one sitting. I started at like 6 at night, and I think I finished around 3 a.m. So it felt good to like knock out a good game in one final sitting. So that's what I have to say about it. If you have PS5, go check it out. Or if you like what I'm saying about it, check it out on Xbox. It's not that expensive. So with that down and out of the way, guys, we're going to move into our main story. And we're going to do an easy episode today. It's just going to be one main topic. And then we've got 3 questions from 3 lovely lads. I believe Geno, CN, and Casey Court all wrote in. So we'll do that. And we'll have a little fun back here. So with that being said, guys, our main story is that Game Pass is increasing. The Xbox Game Pass standard tier won't include day one titles as Microsoft hikes prices again, with Ultimate rising to $19.99 a month. Now, I'm going to run through this whole thing and then we'll kind of dive into it. So saddle up and ride. Microsoft has quietly revealed it will not include day one releases like Call of Duty Black Ops 6 in the standard Xbox Game Pass tier amid price hikes to the service. First reported by Windows Central, then outlined by Xbox support, Microsoft is raising the price of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate from $16.99 to $19.99 a month in the US. It's also replacing its more basic $10.99 Xbox Game Pass console tier with Xbox Game Pass Standard, a $14.99 option, which doesn't include the beloved day one release feature, specific entries to the Game Pass Ultimate Library, access to EA Play, LastCallGaming, perks, quests, and discounts on games in the Game Pass library. Microsoft didn't commit to eventually bringing these titles to Xbox Game Pass either. saying titles such as Call of Duty Black Ops 6 may be added to the library at a future date. Those wanting to play these games at launch and potentially at all will therefore need to pay for the rolling $19.99 a month Xbox Game Pass Ultimate tier once these price changes go into effect for the new members on July 10th, 2024. So that's already in effect. And for existing members on September 12th, 2024. PC Game Pass is also rising from $9.99 a month to $11.99 a month, while most basic Xbox Pass core tier is rising from $59.99 to $74.99 a year. It will remain at $9.99 a month, however. Finally, Microsoft will only allow its users to prepay for Xbox Game Pass per console for up to 13 months going forward. Users with more months than 13 months already paid for will not be affected. Price rises will go into effect worldwide with a full list of affected countries and specific changes. The link, this is from IGN, if I didn't note that earlier, and the link will be in the description if you guys do need to click any of that or read on it. And then the final part says, Microsoft last raised prices on Xbox Game Pass in 2023, raising the ultimate tier price from $14.99 a month to $16.99 a month in its first price hike since 2017. Paying $14.99 a month for Xbox Game Pass therefore nets users significantly less than it did just 1 year ago, with Microsoft essentially removing day one titles, EA Play, cloud gaming, and free perks. Rumors have circulated since May 2024 that Xbox was pondering an additional price increase, especially given the planned addition of future Call of Duty games day one to the service following Xbox's acquisition of Activision Blizzard last year. So that is a lot to kind of wrap your head around. It's a bunch of different kind of price numbers, hikes, and different perk things that are kind of channeling in and out. So just one thing I just wanted to point out, just so that it's clear, is that the biggest things are going to be the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate and the Xbox Game Pass Standard. So to just reiterate, the new Game Pass Ultimate is going to be $19.99 a month with access to full library of Xbox Game Pass games, PC Game Pass, EA Play, day one titles, online multiplayer, member deals and discount perks, and cloud gaming. The new Standard is going to be $14.99 a month, which is $5 less, which has access to a limited library of Xbox Game Pass games, which doesn't include day one titles, plus online multiplayer and member deals and discounts. This tier is coming soon and not necessarily alongside the September 12th, 2024 price hike. So there's two things do you want to go first, Andrew? I read a whole bunch. So if there's anything you want to say, let it out now, then I can kind of dive into my points that I want to get into. Hey, kid's got to take a drink of water.
Personally, I don't think this is a big deal at all. And I'll be honest, I kind of don't pay attention to what I pay for. That I thought it was $20 this whole time for some reason.
You've been paying $25 for months.
That's probably with like taxes that it's closer to 20, and I think now it'll probably be like 22 or something like that. And I hate too, because you'd see big people like Ryan McCaffrey, like, here's the step on the rake thing for Xbox. They just had that good press conference. Now they're beating themselves down. I'm like, it's literally, without taxes, it's $4. If it's that big a deal to you, then maybe gaming, and I don't want to sound like a snob or like a rich person or anything like that, like that, if that's a big make or break to you, then gaming probably shouldn't be something you're doing. Maybe you should focus your money elsewhere. Because it's crazy the amount of people I see out there that are like, after this I'm unsubbing and this and that, or as soon as mine's up in 2027 because I've been stacking them with discounts and whatever, then I'm never subbing again. It's like, bro, I really just don't get the whole sentiment. Because let's say you just at $20 face value, that's $240 a year. So I broke down just this year alone on games that I played, and this isn't like just day one releases or anything like that. I've already, and this could be a game that was made from last year or something like that. I've already spent $340 so far this year
on Game Pass games.
That's the amount of money I would have spent to have to play all these other extra games on top of maybe other things I bought in this year, and that's not counting other games that maybe I would have. Oh, cool, Game Pass sale! I bought that on discount. That's just my value so far. And going further, if I did just this year alone for what I want to play, and this isn't counting Indiana Jones, it's not counting Avowed, and I actually didn't even count Call of Duty in here too because I forgot about it until afterwards, I would, throughout the year, I would have spent $360 on all these other games that are coming to Game Pass, like Hellblade, Flintlock, a few others that are Kimetsu no Gami.
Yeah, I can't pronounce
it. The other one from Capcom. You know, just games like that might not be first party, but still, it's a day one game that I'm super interested in, want to play. So $360. Either way, I'm already way more than the $240 I don't want to say limit, but whatever your yearly would be. And that, again, that's not counting Avowed, Indie, and Call of Duty, arguably the 3 biggest games that Xbox has for the rest of the year. So throw another 70, 70, 70 on top of that, and I'm getting 3 to almost 4 times more value than what I'm paying for.
Yeah. I agree. I don't think, and here's what I think they're kind of slipping past, is I don't think the price is the issue. Because I'd imagine that, I wouldn't say most people, I'd roll the dice, 95% of people watching this or listening to this have a streaming service, right? They have not gone up anywhere near as bad as a Disney Plus, a Hulu, a Netflix, any of those. So we all knew it was coming. We all knew the price hike was going to happen. And at the end of the day, yeah, 15 to 20 isn't bad, because it's $240 for the $20 a month, and then it come out to what, 180 for if you're on the tier. So the price is going to happen anyway. So I'm not disappointed in that. What I'm disappointed, because it's one thing to give ultimate perks that the other one doesn't have, but it's another thing to diminish what the standard one has, and that's what I think people are kind of missing. I don't think the price is my problem. The plan is the fact that if you're going to give Ultimate for $5 more, if you're going to give Ultimate Day 1 access, PC Game Pass, and EA Play, that's cool. Those are perks that Ultimate has that's worth the $5. But to now raise the standard, because the original tier 1 was the $10.99 that they're jumping to $14.99, not only are you raising my price, but what I'm not getting is it's saying access to a limited library of Xbox Game Pass games. So I need to know what that means, because it's like there's a difference between if you have Netflix and I'm paying 15 and 20, but one of them has ads, the other one doesn't. Okay, that's a perk. But if you're going to tell me if my $14.99 takes away 300 movies because I'm not paying the Ultimate, well, now we have a problem. Like, what defines what's going to be off of it? Is it going to be developer? Is it going to be, if we loose numbers, if I paid $1 million to have this on Game Pass, is anything that we paid $1 million for go to Ultimate, and anything less go to Standard? Like right now, Octopath Traveler 1 and 2 are on Game Pass. Is that going to be for Ultimate? That's my issue, is that give perks to the Ultimate, give incentive to go to $19.99, but don't diminish the $15 one by going, oh, and you also, not only can you not have this, this, and this, but we're also going to limit the games that are on your spreadsheet. And to me, I'm like, okay, that's the disgusting part. Like, you don't need to take away the games. Take the perks. That's what the tier is for, perks. But if you're going to make my game list now even smaller for $5, then I'm not sure what you're aiming for. And I just wanted to point out before we dive into it is that, because I've been on PlayStation Plus a lot lately, PlayStation Plus Premium, right, which already doesn't do day 1 titles, but gives you access to all the cloud streaming, Ubisoft classics where Xbox is kind of partnered with EA, does all this stuff, right? So, and it's only for $160. So it's their best program, the PS Premium that I love, is still cheaper and better than now the Game Pass's worst, more expensive service. To me, I just don't know. I don't know why they're hiking the price up on something that's losing a lot of things that it already had. And I just can't, that's what I can't wrap my head around. Does that make sense at all?
Yeah, no, I totally understand. I personally don't have a problem with diminishing a tier. There's really...
I don't mind taking away perks, but to take away the catalog that was already there?
I wonder...
The money I'm fine with. Take the perks, but now you're going to rob me of games?
I wonder if it's day 1 titles. Yeah, that's what they would really have to be more specific with. Because, yeah, otherwise, why even bother subbing to that middle one versus just knocking it out and saying, hey, this... I mean, you have to give people a choice, though. That's the thing.
No, the choice is fine, but look at PlayStation, though. PlayStation goes from having, hey, this one gives you online. This one gives you the backwards compatibility, or their old games. This one gives you all this other stuff. It's like, okay, this one gives you all the perks and full access, and this one gives you nothing. It gives you nothing and you get less. Well, here's like there's nothing good about it now.
Here's the problem is we've had it good for too long and the roosters are coming home to crow, Bobby Boucher. So that really is the big thing. Like, how do you really substantiate the two and make people want to upgrade and to whatever worth value? The only option would have been you just get day 1 titles with this one. You don't get day 1 titles with that one.
That would have been fine. So again, it's just that why diminish the catalog? The other one's already getting a bunch of cool stuff that I would say is worth $5. But if you're, and again though, and what I'm saying is I don't like that they're taking away, but I don't know on what scale and what games. I mean, if I'm losing all the Power Simulator games and anything that's 20 years old, or I'm losing, old Xbox games, okay. But again, like if Octopath disappears, if I'd imagine that Halo and things like Gears would stay on there, but if like Ori was on there one day and then it's gone on standard the next day.
I wonder if it's like a pricing too. Like, okay, well, anything that's considered like a game that's still $70, like a $70 tier game.
But why though? That's what I'm saying though. Like for $5, you're already giving me the good perks to make me jump. You're gonna now squonk my list, and that's the part when I was reading it, because you sent me the article and I was reading it, and I'm like, okay, not too bad. $5, and then I was reading, I'm like, wait. What does limited access to the games mean? Because I haven't found anything that mentions what it would be.
I don't think that they've said. And the way I took it is I took it at just all the day one games and.
But that's what I said though. It's two separate sentences: day one and a limited version of the Game Pass catalog. So it's like, okay, that's what I was thinking too. I'm like, okay, but you went out of your way now to make it two separate things, and to me it's like, ugh.
The way I took it would be like day one / current. So let's say what's Elden Ring. Let's say Elden Ring came to Game Pass next month. You would have that's something that I would see be only in the ultimate tier, not hey, this is for everybody.
I hope so, because if it is just but that's the thing though, if it is just day one games, then that's fine, because if Call of Duty isn't something you want to play, no big deal. If
I would say
Indiana Jones is something you want to play, no big deal. But if I'm gonna start losing catalog games, and again, I think they need to either clarify that or tell us exactly what that means.
I'm sure they will, and the way I took it is like day one, maybe more recent premium valued games. Like what's
in the last 6 months or something?
Infinite Wealth, Yakuza, if that came to the Game Pass, that launched in January or February, that came to the Game Pass tomorrow. I would see that on the ultimate tier, not on this. Maybe a year from now, they'll drop it down to the other tier or something like that. Or maybe games that came out Dying Light came out, or not Dying Light, Dead Island 2 that came out last year. That would be on the standard tier, because that's not a recent, not for lack of a term, premium style game.
Yeah, we just need the clear cut thing, because like again, I was looking at Octopath 2 the other day. Octopath 2 came out last year, but like if that game just dropped, that's a premium game. It's like is that going to go to ultimate? Does it come to standard? So to me, I think that is kind of the issue, and I don't know.
Do you think people are overblowing it though, like saying like, "Oh, well, I'm gonna cancel now"?
Yeah, I think that because the price to me isn't the problem. Like, I'm gonna cancel it tomorrow. It's like it's $5 more. It's $20 a month. If you're a drinker, is a 30-pack. It's one dinner a month. I mean, it's not nothing, but it's not the end of the world if you like gaming. If you're taking advantage of it, Andrew already pointed out, you're getting your money's worth and then some.
I hate it, dude. There's just split camps that I cannot stand within like that community now that Game Pass has created. Is like that, like, oh, there's the value's not there, blah blah. It's like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. And then you have the other side of the camp that's, well, I'm not gonna buy any game ever. I'm just gonna wait for it to come to the Game Pass. Like, I hate both of those people, and those are both problems that Game Pass has created. Where I feel like you and me are in the middle. Like, yeah, cool, it's a Game Pass game, but if it's something I'm super interested in, I'm not going to wait for it to come to Game Pass. I bought Dragon's Dogma 2.
Yeah, we were just talking about something the other day too. We're like, oh, if this comes out, like, are we splitting it? So it's like, yeah, there's no issue with that. And again, take advantage of the game share. I mean, that's half the reason. But anyway, that's what I kind of want to land on it. We'll know more as time comes. Obviously, September is going to be the bigger month. It kind of shows more of what's happening. This is just kind of getting people's feet in the door and having it ready. But again, 710 is already kicked in, so anybody new coming on, some of that's going to affect you. But by the time September comes around, we should know more, and it needs to be I think a tad more specific.
I think it's a mountain out of a molehill situation. There's a lot of people acting like, oh, this is the end, and now PlayStation has a better value. I'm like, bro, whatever.
Yeah, they're not seeing the forest from the trees. But, anything else you want to add on that?
No.
Okay, so guys, that was our main topic. Leave down below how you guys interpreted it. Obviously, me and Andrew kind of maybe looked at it from two different angles, one side, and then again, does the price increase bother you? Is it something that we all saw coming? I mean, like the rest of any streaming subscription service, prices are going up. I mean, look at HBO's going. I mean, everything's going up. So it was just a matter of time. And again, they did one last year for like $2, but their last one was from 2017. So arguably speaking, Microsoft has lasted the longest without a price increase, where there's other companies that do it every 6 months. So I don't think the price is a problem, but teach their own. So with that down out of the way, guys, let's move into questions of the week. Now, guys, if you want to submit a question that Andrew and I can answer on the show, you can do so a couple of different ways. You can email us at lastcallproductions@gmail.com. You can leave a comment down below in the YouTube section, or you can find me on social media at Craig Perales, and I can take them there. And like I said earlier, these come from 3 lovely gentlemen and close friends of the show. So the first question comes from Geno Perales, and he writes, question: now that we're hitting third and fourth quarter, what are your 2 most anticipated games coming up? There's a lot of talent coming our way. Avowed and Star Wars are looking like scrum-diddly-umptious bars, and I'm over here like Dear Augustus Gloop, and Craig was born to be a Wonkanite. That's what I was telling you earlier.
Wonka?
Because what did you say earlier? And I was like, there's going to be a Wonka reference, but what are we doing? What are we doing?
Oh,
potato, baby!
Yeah, with sour cream.
Yeah, because I just got a dinner to go to, and so we're making sure time's sweet, and he's like, I got to go get a potato with sour cream, so it was just classic timing. So
Violet, you're turning violet, Violet.
Violet, you're turning violet. So, excellent question. We actually had a pretty good front half of 2024, and there's a really good Game Ranks video that we were all watching, and that kind of had a bunch of good looking things that are still coming out. Hopefully nothing gets pushed, but yeah, so Avowed in Star Wars, what's the newest Star Wars called?
Outlaws.
Avowed still looks dope. Star Wars still looks, because again, Star Wars not a game that's coming to Game Pass, but we're definitely gonna buy that.
See, I didn't put Avowed, even though I'm excited for like Avowed or Indiana Jones, because there's no hard date yet. I know they said fall 2024, even if it's winter 2024. I only put things that have, or even Metal Gear, the big rumor and what they've been saying, is supposed to be 2024. So I only put something that has hard date.
All right, let me go through your two, and then I'll do my two.
So my two, I went with Black Myth Wukong.
Looks great.
I think everyone's really riding the hype on that one. It looks beautiful. I'm really excited for that. I know it got delayed for Xbox, but they didn't say it was delayed out of 2024. So I'm still hoping to catch that one this year. So I think that'd be a really good one. And then I am excited to get back on this. I feel like it's been a really good year for Switch, and Switch is kind of just rolling high right now. So I put Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. I'm not too crazy on like Zelda's like magic mechanic stuff, and maybe I'll just have to play it to really be a believer. But I am glad that they took that Link to the Past chibi art style that they used from the remake, and the map almost looks like they're using. That's what I said.
Oh, they said Link to the Past.
Oh, maybe I did.
Okay.
Link's Awakening, but I'm glad that it looks like they're using Link to the Past, so this might be connected to that. From the way I've seen the castle design with the moat and everything, it looks like it's that kind of layout, so that would be really cool.
Do you think it'd be interesting if they, I don't know if they ever would, and obviously they haven't yet, is anything that's played, if they move forward with doing Zelda protagonist games, they do a new series called The Adventures of Link, or The Legend of Link?
Like
how it's Legend of Zelda, but you're always playing Link.
Oh,
if you're playing Zelda, if you do that.
That'd be pretty funny. I think that'd be cool.
That'd be funny. So, yeah, great games. As far as the two games that I was looking forward to, both of mine are kind of a little more, I guess, tame compared to some big action shooter games that are still coming. My first one was Mario and Luigi Brothership, which again is coming to Switch, and that comes out later this year on November 7th, 2024. Man, I'm a fan. Well, let me back up. I'm losing fanhood for Mario games, but I'm talking like Odyssey, 3D Land, like the traditional type Mario games. That last one, man, put me such in a slump. Didn't even have 8 worlds. It felt very easy, but I've always been a fan of the RPG Mario games. You just beat Thousand Year Door. You introduced me to that. Super Mario RPG. All the Paper Marios we've beaten, except I never played the one on Wii U, the Color, whatever.
There's Color Splash, Sticker Star, and I think there's one other one that I think is generally like unfavorable.
Yeah, and then what was the other? Mario and Rabbids was a good RPG, but the Mario and Luigi series, I think, is an excellent series, and I've only played a handful of them. One of them was Superstar Saga because it's on the Switch for the ROMs that you can do for the Game Boy, and then I've beaten Bowser's Inside Story. I actually I was like, don't I have Paper Jam? Because I don't know if I've ever played it. So I actually pulled out my 3DS, started charging it, and I've got Paper Jam ready. I'm going to start, I don't know if you guys can even see it, but I'm going to start playing this now. I'm going to keep it next to the bed and try to play like an hour or two a night. I love this series, and I don't know why this wasn't more, and again, this will be the first one on console, so kudos, and hopefully they can keep moving forward. The RPG mechanics in these games are fantastic, and any game that pairs Mario and Luigi in it, I want. I don't know why Luigi's never front and center unless he's in Luigi's Mansion, and even like Mario and Rabbids, Luigi's in it, and surprisingly, dude, he's the strongest character, so I'm extremely looking forward to it. The Brothership kind of threw me off, because I was like, why not Brotherhood or something, and then I realized that the game's taking place at sea, so Brothership. It's kind of like a Donkey Kong, how it has those weird type names. So that's the first one I'm looking forward to. And then the second one is Astrobot, which is going to be exclusive on the PS5. We saw it on the State of Play, I think, last month, or maybe it was in May. It
was a closer.
Yeah, and it's by Team Asobi. It's It looks fantastic. If you guys aren't familiar with them, they do. There was a demo game that came out called Astro's Playroom on the PS5. Yeah. It was a boxing game. I tell everybody to play it. It's a lovely platformer. It's like I just came off of playing Sackboy's Big Adventure. I miss those nice 3D platformers. Get a couple abilities. The Playroom was kind of a nostalgic love letter to old PlayStation accessories. It's got like you go find memory cards and controllers and all that stuff. This one looks like a fully fleshed out game, so I'm really looking forward to that. So those would be the two games that I'm looking forward to. So guys, if you're listening, leave down the two games that you're looking forward to. And again, after watching that list, there's a good solid 25 games that are coming out. And Andrew and I were talking, even coming up on the 17th and 18th is Flintlock and then
Flintlock and then Kimetsu no Gami.
Yeah, so I didn't want to say those because those are a week
right around the corner. So yeah.
Thank you for the question, my kind sir. Second question comes from Christian Vargas, aka CN, aka Big Daddy Pimp, and he writes, "Great episode. IDK, if someone ever asked this, and I don't think they have, and I feel like I know your answer, Craigie, but what would you say is your favorite wrestling duo or team?" I think when I wrote you, I just said duo because that's what I read. But you can think of a team, duo and a team. When you hear duo, do you go straight to a tag team or just like a happenstance pair that happen to be like running around together?
I would say anyone who's won the tag team title. That could be a happenstance pair, and maybe they only did it for like a little bit. Because even like when I think even like Steve Austin and Triple H were like tag team champions for like
the two-man power trip is, I was almost going to put it on my list, and that was one of my favorites. But again, I think they only ran for like a year or two, but they definitely held the belts.
But that I'd go for a Rock and Sock connection just because it was just polar opposites in personality, especially to
hilarious on the mic.
Yeah, amazing on the mic, and then you got Mr. Rocco and Mr. Sacco. Like they were just everything I wanted at that time. That was so funny. And so they have a special place in my heart always.
And then what about maybe a team? You want to throw out a faction?
For me, it's always going to be like D-Generation X. Just hands down. Like it can't be anything else.
So as far as mine go, two-man power trip, fantastic. What were the Brothers of Hell when Undertaker and Kane ran?
Brothers of Destruction.
That was good shit. But mine has to go back to when I was a kid wrestling.
Dink and Doink.
Whose moves I always imitated, and it was the Hardy Boys, man. Team Extreme.
Hardy Boys are always good.
Yeah, the high flying Daredevils. Jeff Hardy more, because when we wrestled, those were the moves I always used. The Twist of Fate. I never did Poetry in Motion, his running into the turnbuckle one, but the Swanton Bomb dude on the playground, jumping off of stuff. But this was when the Attitude Era wasn't just about heavy hitters, and I feel like wrestling now is all about the big guy slamming people. Where this was back when, dude. So if you've ever heard of the TLC, which was the table, ladder, chairs match, it was invented by the Hardy Boys, the Dudley Boys,
also great,
and Edge and Christian. Which is, dude, this is back when go watch WrestleMania 17. I think, is wrestling on Peacock or Paramount?
Peacock.
It's on Peacock. Go watch WrestleMania 17. It is one of the best matches you're ever gonna watch. So as far as the team,
that's the one where Jeff gets speared out of the air. Yeah. Amazing match.
Edge spears him from the top, and I
watch that one all the time.
Yeah, it's fantastic. As far as the team goes, Hogan's always going to be my favorite guy. So yeah, the original black and white NWO, not when it got cratered with everybody. I'm talking Hogan when he went Hollywood, and I'm talking the Outsiders when Razor Ramon just went Scott Hall, and when Diesel just went Kevin Nash. That original 3-pack was the best, and one of my favorite ones. So I'm curious if that was the right answer, CN. So either text me or message in the YouTube comment what you thought maybe my answer was going to be. And last, but certainly not least, is Casey Court, who runs a great channel for Pokemon hunting, shining, and walkthroughs. I'll try to leave his channel in the description down below if you guys want to catch him out. He runs an awesome Pokemon hunting, shiny catching, and I believe, and Casey, don't kill me, I believe he does it every Wednesday and Sunday, so definitely go check him out. And he writes, with all the series continuing in new ways or new stories, e.g., which is, for example, look at you using EGs, Assassin's Creed, Final Fantasy, Sonic, Mario, Pokemon, Halo, etc. What is your favorite video game series of all time, and why?
Mine, this is a toss-up between a couple, but my number one usually always go to is Resident Evil. I just love horror games, and zombies are some of my all-time just favorite monsters. They're just a classic. Like, they're so, it's always intriguing. And they jumped the shark for like a little bit to where they weren't good, but now that we have the Capconisance, 7, even though a lot of people love 7 was a little weak for me, but 2 remake, 3 remake, I loved 8. So I'm really excited for what they're going to do with the future. But they just had a good past, present, and I'm excited for the future of what they've done with that series. Because even, like I said, they might have 1 or 2 that maybe like waver for a little bit.
6.
Or 6 is generally the unfavorable one. But there is cool parts to 6 that I do like in certain cutscenes. I'm like, I'll go back and watch this. Or it's a cool idea. There's just too many things thrown together. But again, now that they kind of found their way again, it's all, they really invented horror, then that third-person camera, and then came the amazing Resident Evil 1 remake, which was the standard of how remakes should be done. And then when they came back and did 2 and 4, reinvented the idea of how remakes should be done flawlessly. So it's like you're reinventing the wheel that you invented.
Yeah. Well, and you're getting, not good show per se, but you're getting some decent animated movies. You're getting some good books.
They're a little weaker on that part, but you know what? At least they're trying versus Final Fantasy put out that one shit movie.
Well,
no, they had Advent Children too.
Yeah. You're thinking of
Spirits Within?
Spirits Within. Yeah, that one sucked, but Advent Children was dope.
Would have been a cool movie if it wasn't called Final Fantasy.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, because do you like more of the Biohazard Village type first person, or do you prefer the third person type of playing, or does it matter?
I think it would just depend on the story. Village, I think, lends itself to how you play that game, versus I prefer the third person when you're in like Raccoon City with like these confined areas, whereas Village, a lot of it's a little bit more like open, so like you can dodge like a lot easier, so it lends itself to that. Versus third person, those third person ones are a little more kind of confined. Except for 4 is a little openish, but when you're playing like 2 and 3, those are like tight corridors. So playing in a first person, having to like turn all the way around and see what's behind me, I feel like would be a little annoying.
Nice.
But I think they perfected it with both.
Yeah.
They have amazing first person and third person, so who can say that about another franchise?
Yeah, it's funny because I played Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, maybe Code Veronica back in the day as a kid. But then 7 and 8 pulled me back in. So starting with 7 and 8, getting into that, and then doing remaster or remake of 2, 3, and eventually, it takes me a couple of years to finish them. So eventually 4. But yeah, awesome. As far as what mine is, and it sucks because we haven't had one in so long, is BioShock. I have my whole left sleeve to BioShock. It's a series that did a lot of things correct, and it's a game. Whether you like it or you don't, it's a game that I think you at least have to try once. It's a definitely, because it's not just about the shooting and it's not just about the powers and stuff. It's these utopias set in these different places with Rapture underwater and Columbia in the sky, but has this like alternate history with very interesting political ideologies. And to me, that's what's interesting. The gameplay is phenomenal, but if you like story, then you're also getting a killer story with it. Now, number 1, when you played Jack, dude, that came back out in 2007. Awesome game, love it. Number 2, I like it. It gets a lot of hate, but I think it was just because they didn't. You can't catch lightning in the bottle twice more often than not. So I don't think it lived up to what number 1 was, and they did a great job when they pivoted.
Resident Evil begs to differ.
And I think they did a good job when they pivoted and made BioShock Infinite in 2013, and then did a whole new atmosphere. They took it to the sky. You get to play Boogie Duet. You get to meet Elizabeth, and you get to dive into these things where she has access to the space-time continuum, and you get into a lot of these different kind of, I don't want to say multiverses, and I'll leave it there if you ever want to play it and get into it. But my problem is that the last one came out in 2013. It's been over a decade.
Not if you count the remastered collection.
Which is also a good point, because I actually looked at that today, actually. If you have the Game Pass, the remastered collection is $9.99. If you don't, then you can still buy the bundle for $49.99. So talk about, that's a big
I'd probably
savings.
get it because I barely remember.
And it's always on sale. It's always on sale. Give it a couple. After this, it's probably going to go on sale for like $20. It's usually on sale for $25.
I'm sorry, I barely remember 1. I didn't play 2, and I didn't play 3.
Well, it's not 3, it's Infinite. But yeah.
Infinite.
Yeah, the third one. But I just want to go on record saying that Ken Levine did at one point talk to, I forget who it was, in 2019, saying that they are planning on moving forward. But again, though, that was 6 years ago. So it's like, eventually, hopefully I can get something. But BioShock, for me, not only has the story that I love, it's got the combat, it's got the superpowers and all that good stuff. So, guys, thank you for the question. Leave your answers down below. And with that being said, guys, that brings us to a close of episode 198 with no foreseeable problems. Join us next week for episode 199, guys. And until then, my name is Craig Perales. This handsome bloke is Andrew Montemayor. And until next time, guys, cheers.
See you guys out there.